Thank you very much. I'll choose to speak on this side because there's flowers here. And that makes me come across a little softer. Does anyone here actually believe in the youngest person in the legislature? I was at an event on Friday evening, and so I turned 30 this year. And when the audience learned that I just turned 30, this one lady said, "Oh God." And it was actually a religious event. And so I then said, "See, that's the miracle of God, isn't it? He'll make somebody like me look like they're 50. Not that there's anything wrong with being 50. Or above. But needless to say, it's always interesting when I get introduced as the youngest this or the youngest that, and then people say, "That guy's got a pretty big beard for being so young." I often say that there's two parts of me that, quite frankly, add on a few years to my appearance. One is my beard, and I have that for my faith. And the second is my, we'll call it stature. And I have that for my occupation. Politicians are fed well. It's my absolute pleasure to be here today. When Tom first said, "Hey, we'd like you to do this," I felt very honored, to be honest. Because graduations, convocations, in my eyes, are some of the most optimistic events that take place in our society. It's a place that I refer to as meeting places of dreams. This is where dreams really come together. This is where some dreams are fulfilled and others are born, others are inspired. This is where one generation looks up at another and sees my future is in good hands with a new generation of capable, educated, inspired individuals. This is where young children get to look up at their mothers or their fathers and say, "If my dad or my mom could go back to school, then there's nothing preventing me from achieving anything I desire." I love that. I think that's the single most powerful point of inspiration for any young people out there. How many parents do we have graduating here today? Give them a round. And how many children do we have in the audience right now that are incredibly proud of their parents? Let us hear it. Let them hear it. Let them hear it. So to the children who see their parents in this very position, it is now upon you to ensure that you live up to the legacy of your parents, who have the courage to go back, to get educated, to put aside other aspects of life and say, "My education today is by far the most important thing I can do for my future, for future generations of my family." How many here are the first person in their family, perhaps, to get a post-secondary credential? Brilliant. Give them a round of applause. Absolutely brilliant. My friends, you'll see many politicians who stand up and talk about, I always say the legislature, they get up and they yell and they scream and they bang on the desk and they say, "Mr. Speaker, this is about our grandchildren." So, hey man, if you're that angry, I don't know how happy they don't seem to get a simple principle. That simple principle is this: we cannot have a prosperous, successful, empowered society if our citizens are not prosperous and empowered. If our citizens, if generation after generation continues to be undereducated, then we as a nation do not live up to our potential. So for all of you that broke the cycle, and you're the first ones in your families to get a post-secondary credential, I salute you and I thank you. I thank you from the bottom of my heart for making our province a stronger place, because you got educated. Thank you. Tom said speak for 3 minutes. He said if you don't, watch what happens afterwards. So he's given me a few books. I just want to end off with one last one. I've had the great fortune of spending vast amounts of time in my life with profound humanitarians. People that, quite frankly, live not for themselves, but for humanity. People that have abandoned their personal ambitions in life, abandoned their personal businesses, their careers, and I literally mean abandoned. I think of one such individual right now who he was asked to serve in a position that paid nothing. So he gave up his business and he began serving in a position that pays nothing. And his reasoning for not accepting any pay was, he said, those that have true knowledge, the test for those who have true knowledge and true wisdom, right, is whether or not they charge for it. We live in this world of self-help gurus now that go on best-selling book tours, claiming some profound knowledge. But he taught me that. He said the test is to see if someone's for real is whether or not they give away that wisdom for free. So he did this, and his family survived on his wife's salary. And he was questioned by many, saying, what is it? What's the future? In an ever divisive world, where people are putting up greater borders between us, where we are creating artificial barriers between people of different faiths, different backgrounds, different nationalities. He said, what is it? What is it? What must we do to ensure that humanity really progresses in the future? And he said, I'm going to give you just a couple examples. He said, everybody loves the way a rose smells, right? He says, everyone loves it. The smell of a fresh rose. He said, isn't it brilliant? He said, has a rose ever discriminated against who it offers this fragrance to? No. So does the sun ever discriminate against who the sun offers light to? Obviously not. Then, my friends, we shall not discriminate against who we offer love to. If we are to survive and prosper as a humanity to a point that we've never seen before, then it's up to each of us to see the child of another as a collective child of all of ours. It's up to each of us to see one instance of being small, I call it, discrimination, etc., etc. Seeing one instance as an instance too much. It's up to each of us. Because we can get our societies further educated. We can produce more engineers and lawyers and doctors. But it's that part of the heart, that little part of the heart, that we must take note of. And say, yes, we need the external tools to progress, the educational backgrounds. But we also need that heart to open up, to see in others the beauty, the compassion, love that hopefully we see in ourselves. So that's about as sentimental as I'll get on stage. I am honored to be here. I wish you all the best. I hope that you trendsetters out there will reach into your communities and be ambassadors for higher education. Whether that's your ethnic community, the neighborhood in which you live, your family, whatever. Pick out a few others and yank them up. Sometimes people aren't willing to be, sometimes people are a little shy to be pulled up, right? So it's up to those who make it to grab them by the arm and say, you're going to do this. You're going to do this for all of us. That's the way that we move this on and we pay this forward. Each one of you just helps one other person take the bold and courageous step to get higher education. Is that a commitment I have from you? You're being very shy and timid for your convocation day. I hope that's confirmation that you're willing to pay this forward. Thank you very much.